Hello, folks. I'm on my way down to the bulrushes. I can still hear the birds. And it is a foggy morning, although the fog is not really dense right in front of me, but it's a heavy enough fog, like kind of like a distant fog, for me to have an umbrella. Yes, because I've been getting some droplets of moisture on me, and of course I don't want to get it all over my glasses. So anyway, let me just put in my walk with me, and let's see what else I want to put in there. Oops. And just putting a couple of hashtags in there so folks know what I'm doing. Which I've never tried before. There we go. Post. There we go. Let me see if I can manage to pin my... Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to hold my my umbrella, which is kind of awkward, while I'm doing this with my hands. Oh, hello, Morgan. How are you? I'm trying to pin my comment. There we go. I got it. Yes. How are you? A thoughtful Thursday to you. I am outside, down by the bulrushes. I'll show them to you. I'll have to hit... Oop. Wait a minute. There we go. This is an area where there are red-winged blackbirds that nest, and every morning, right about this time, they all lift off. And I often like to capture the bird flight that comes out, because there's so many birds that nest down in here. Yes. So, let me put it back on me for now. And they are still here. Yesterday, I completely missed it. Even though I was out at the same time, but they had already taken off. Although on the way back on my walk, I actually saw a few lingering ones coming out when I came back through, and I'm like, well, maybe they were just having some really good breakfast conversation and they didn't feel like leaving yet, so even though the rest of them did. You know how you like to linger after a meal? Yeah, I was thinking that that's what they were doing. Isn't that funny? So today is Thoughtful Thursday, my favorite day of the week. Yes. Do you have a favorite day of the week? If you do, you're welcome to leave a comment and tell me what day of the week it is. Thursday has always been a very happy day for me because it's often when I connect with my audience. I've done Journal Chat on Thursday. I've done Joy Fest on Thursday. I've done live stuff on Thursday, outside of those events. And I've often done stuff in my studio on Thursday. Yes, Thursdays have always been a very positive, happy day for me. So I guess you could say that's why. Oh, it looks like they're starting to... Not sure if they're ready to lift off yet, but as soon as they do, I will flip the camera so that you can see it. Yes, exactly. So what do you have planned for today? I've got some tech stuff to do. Not exactly my favorite subject, but sometimes it's a necessity, obviously, because there are some things that we do that involve technical stuff, right? So, and I'll probably do my office work too. I've got a little bit of office work to do. And hopefully I'll have time to go and work on something in my studio, or play in my studio, as I like to often refer to it as. Yes. So I'm just kind of hanging out here on the sidewalk, waiting for, as you can see, sidewalk, waiting for the birds to take off this morning. It's always well worth the wait. Even if I stand here for 10 or 15 minutes, sometimes I have to stand here that long, depending on when they're into it. I don't know if the fog would impact their timing of liftoff. At first I was thinking that maybe their liftoff was synchronized with the sunrise, but I don't know if that would be the case, because When I came out yesterday, it was before the sunrise and they had already left. So I'm guessing that that's not the case. I thought maybe it might have been, but probably not. So don't mind my umbrella. Let me see if it's still wet enough. Yeah, it's kind of misting out. I don't want to get my phone and my glasses all spotty. So that's why I decided to bring my umbrella with me this morning. So I'm still waiting for the liftoff. Can you hear them? They're very loud, aren't they? They love having some very boisterous breakfast conversation. Yes. They do this every morning. And in the last couple of weeks, I've noticed that their flight pattern has changed somewhat. For a long time, they would lift off in groups, and I would capture them on film with the group lift off. You know, they would come out, you know, like maybe 10 or 15 birds at a time, or, you know, something like that. And then last week, I started noticing that when they came out of the bulrushes, they were coming out in larger groups, like a whole cloud of birds, basically. And they started heading in the southerly direction instead of down by the hemp where they usually go. So I kind of did a little research on the red-winged blackbird on my Audubon app and found out what they eat. They actually eat insects and, let's see, what else do they eat? Seeds, grasses, you know, that's why they're ground feeders. And sometimes a little bit of fruit, depending on, I guess, where they're nesting. And it depends on where they're located. If they're in the northerly section, like maybe in Canada, then they come south. But if they're in the US, it's said that they don't generally migrate. So interesting information that I gathered there. So I'm guessing that they'll probably remain right where they are through the colder season. Which I hope they do, because I really love watching them lift off. They're so inspiring to me to watch. It's so much fun to see their habits and the beauty of their bird flight. Yes. So I just thought I would share a little bit of that with you because I did a little research. I wanted to know a little bit more about these birds that I admire. And yeah, so I thought I would share that with you. And they're still down in there. Surprised they're a little bit longer lingering, but that's okay. Sometimes if they linger really long, I will start walking down toward my favorite tree on the grain belt here. And if they lift off, then I just catch them from the other side. Basically, that's what I usually do. So, yeah, I'm just waiting to see if they're gonna... They often get very quiet right before they lift off. You know, like they just stop talking, all of them. It gets really, really quiet. And then like maybe 2 or 3 seconds or maybe 10 or 15 seconds later, they all, you know, they all start lifting off, which I find really interesting. And then occasionally I will see, you know, like one bird go out, then maybe 2 or 3 go out, almost as if they're like scouts ahead of time, you know, like maybe 5 or 10 minutes before the whole group takes off. Oh my gosh. Gotta show you, hold on. I don't know. Oh, I think I was a little late on the flip. Yeah, little late. That's okay. Well, maybe they'll lift off. Now that I'm facing out, we'll see a little activity. I just saw a bird of prey fly over this area here. Oh, I just saw one go up. Yeah, it's a little noisy out there because we've got traffic, but don't mind. It's amazing the juxtaposition between urban life, or at least residential area, you know, where there's traffic, juxtapositioned with wildlife. I always find that rather interesting. Okay, well, I'm back to me. So I think I'm gonna start walking down toward my tree, but of course when I do that, I have to constantly look behind me to see if they're lifting off yet. So. But I've been standing here for a little while, so I think I'll start to head down. And if I see them lift off, I'll turn around and flip the camera for you so you can see what's going on. And hopefully my umbrella won't be in the way. I just don't want to get all spotted from It's not raining, it's just a very light mist. Yes, so let's see. Now, they're still pretty noisy. You can hear them talking down there. So I guess I'll head down. So, Thoughtful Thursday. That's what I like to call my Thursdays. I guess I try to make them a little more contemplative than other days. Maybe because we're already past Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Yeah. So it feels like the majority of the week, like the bigger part of the week, is behind us. And so Thursday feels a little lighter to me for some reason. Yeah. That's probably another reason why I enjoy the day more so than other days, perhaps. Right? You know, it's funny. People always get really excited about Friday because it's the last day of the work week most of the time. If you work in corporate, for the most part. There are some of those of us who have our own business, and yeah, I mean, we do generally try to take the weekend off, from working, but sometimes we end up doing something in the office for whatever reason. But yeah, we try to take the weekend off, which is good. I'm still waiting for the birds. I kind of stopped walking. I know it's really funny because I always put "walk with me" in my pinned title there. Yeah, they're still down there, so I think I'll keep heading down to my tree. And this is my colorful umbrella. Isn't it pretty? See what goes on. Hopefully I won't miss their bird lift off, because I did come out here hoping to see it this morning since I missed it yesterday. Yep. Especially if they lift off and head toward the southerly direction. If they do that, then it might be a little harder for me to capture it if they don't head down this way. Yeah, so I'm kind of reluctant to go all the way down to my tree until they actually do their lift off, because I don't want to miss it, Yeah, I'm noticing the change in the patterns, which I find interesting because they're, from what I understand, they don't migrate if they're in the southerly part of the country, which is where I am. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, right? So I thought I would just let you know that my newsletter, The Joy Finder, comes out every Wednesday. And, they have begun. Here, let's flip it around. Oh, there it goes. Okay, you can't really see it, so let me do that. I know it's hard to see against the, here, I'm going to put my umbrella down so it's easier for me. I don't know if you can see them. Oh, there they go overhead. That was the first batch. Okay, I'm going to keep my camera out in case the next batch comes out. Let me just close this in a little more so we can see. Because once the groups start lifting off, they usually do one right after the other. So I don't miss it. I kind of almost missed it just a bit ago. So yeah, hopefully they'll come out again. But yeah, that was a group that just came out. We'll see what happens. Oh, there they go. Can you see them? Yeah, they're going behind the tree over there. See, they're going in a different direction now. I'm noticing this. I think I'm gonna head back down this way. Yep, there they go. Oh, there they go. They're all heading out. But they're all going in a different direction now. They used to head down to the hemp, which is behind me. But now, no, not so much. I wonder if they have found another nesting ground that's in that direction. Isn't that interesting? Yes, I walked right back down here so that I'd be right next to where all the activity is taking place. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I kind of have to go around. It goes over my head the way they're doing that. Yep. Yeah, they're coming off in smaller batches again today, which is interesting. Yeah. And you know what? They're still talking down here. So they're really lifting off in smaller amounts of birds instead of a whole flock of them. You know, like a larger flock of them. Yeah, they're still quite noisy too, aren't they? That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, the other morning, about a week ago, it was actually a week ago today, I did a live one just like I'm doing today. And the way they came off of here was like really, really big stuff. It was amazing to me how big it was. This big flock of birds that just came out, and then they all synchronized with other birds that were just migrating in the area. That was really awesome to watch. So yeah, I'm way down here now by the bulrushes because I've seen all this activity coming out. And of course they're still really active down in here. Can you hear them all? That's amazing. Yeah, just waiting for the rest because there's probably, I don't know if there's hundreds or thousands of them down in here. It's really hard to say, but there's a lot. I'll just say that. Just waiting for a really, really big liftoff. You just never know. That would be awesome to see, wouldn't it? I think so. Yeah. Oh, there goes one. Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah. Yeah, they're all down in there. So no, we didn't hear the silent prelude, if you will, to the liftoff. So I guess some of them have gone off and the rest of them are still hanging around. Yeah. I know if I flip the camera back to me that they'll lift off. You know how that is. Let's see if that happens. I'm back. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they lift off now. I put my umbrella down just in case. It's a lot easier to flip the camera when I don't have my umbrella in my hand. So, yes. So I did want to tell you that I've got a podcast episode, Refresh Daily Podcast. If you go to the link in my bio, you can check out the latest one, which is called Joy in Stillness. I talk about getting quiet. Yes, and the importance of getting quiet. So you're welcome to go listen to that if you'd like to. Yeah. And I'm also working on another one right now. That's the techie stuff I'm working on. So, yeah. Just waiting for more liftoff here. Yeah, I'm a very patient birder. I really am. Because it's so worth it to me, you know, to see the beauty of their flight. Yep. But yeah, they're lingering this morning. They really are. Although some of them, you know, took off, which we already saw. So that's a very interesting pattern that we're seeing here. It seems like it almost changes from day to day. You know, it's not the same thing every single morning, which makes it very dynamic, very organic, very unexpected, very, wonder what they're going to do this time kind of situation. So, yeah. So I've been working on a design series that I'm calling my Joy series. Yes. Inspirational messages that I'm creating with my watercolor markers and Indie ink pens that I'm using. And I have in mind 7 designs for the series. And I've already completed 4. I'm working on the 5th one. Hoping to have all 7 designs ready to go right at the holiday time. Yeah. So I'm hoping to get to that today, to get a little time in my studio to work on my design. I have so much fun with it. I do. Color and I are just really good friends. Yes. They're still just talking away, having breakfast. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I wonder what they're talking about. Just listening to them is fascinating, right? Here, I'll flip the camera a little bit and see. This is where they nest. Up close view of their nesting grounds. You never know, you might be able to see a little activity in there. Sometimes I see them flit from grasses that they're in. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay. So we're just waiting for the rest of them to lift off. Because just a few groups came out, but there's still a lot of them left behind here. So we'll see what happens, right? Oh, here goes a few. Okay. Oh, here they go. Here they go. Whee! Overhead. There we go. Here's some more. Yay! There we go. And here's more. Oh, they're all coming off on the other side too. Yay! Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Whoop! Trying to capture them over my head too, which is a little bit challenging. There we go. And here's more. Oh yeah, see? They're all taken off. Here's more. Awesome. I love capturing this live. This is so much fun. And there they go. Oh yeah, look at them all. Yeah, there they go. And here's some more. Isn't that amazing? Let's see if there's any more that's gonna come out. Yeah, oh, here's more. Yeah, they're all coming out in smaller groups today. Definitely. Okay. I think we're safe to flip it back. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. That was fun. Yeah, there's still some in there, but I'm gonna head down to my favorite tree now. Yeah. So that was fun, wasn't it? I love watching them lift off out of there. They were definitely on the later side of the clock, so to speak, but of course they don't live by the clock like we do, right? No, they're intuitive, they're instinctual, and you know what? We can learn a lot from the birds, can't we? That's right. Learning to get quiet, learning to tune in to our intuition and listen to what our higher self is telling us and all that good stuff. Yeah, it's important to do that rather than just live on autopilot. You know, just going from task to task to task and not really thinking about what kind of day you want to have. How we are co-creators. I thought I heard a bird overhead. How we're co-creators of our days. I know I say that a lot, but you know, we need to be reminded of that. I need to remind myself of that every day. I need to say, well, you know what? It's up to you what kind of day you're going to have. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be situations that come on my radar, so to speak, that are always pleasant or, you know, that I would have chosen for myself. Although technically they say that anything that comes into your life, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that fully. You know, that even the stuff that's challenging and upsetting, that you've chosen it for yourself. What do you think of that? Do you think that's true? That when you're faced with a situation that's really hard, that you chose it for yourself? Do you believe that? I don't know. That's a really, let's say, profound question to answer. Yeah, I think so. But I like having deep conversation with you. Yes, I do. So I'm heading down to my favorite tree after all of that bird flight. Instead of them all lifting off at the same time, there was a very long delay between birds lifting off out of there. So down there a little longer than usual for this live. So if you stuck around this long watching the replay, or if you're joining me live now, then thank you. Yes, I like your company. Yes, I do. That's why I invite you to come walk with me, because it makes my time even more dynamic than what it is when I'm by myself. But I like being by myself too, because then I guess you could say I'm more tuned in with what's around me than I am when I'm recording. But there's a time and there's a place for everything, right? So yesterday, I'm heading down to my favorite tree. Yesterday, if you saw my Instagram story, I had some photos that I took. There was a caterpillar that I saw on my favorite tree. And when I went down there yesterday, I noticed the discarded body on the ground under my tree. And I don't know if it was the same one or if it was a different one, because that particular body was greenish in color, and the one that I had taken a photo of was more orange. So I was curious as to whether or not it would have changed color, if it camouflaged itself. I don't know if caterpillars do that or not. I don't know if they do. You're welcome to share any knowledge that you may have about caterpillars. Okay, we're coming up on my favorite tree. And you know what? I can see more of the misty rain coming down. I'm glad I have my umbrella today. All right, so let me see. We're approaching it here. Very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera and show you something. Can you see that? That's the discarded body of the caterpillar that I saw yesterday. And it looks like it got moved, because it was not in that spot when I left yesterday. So I don't know if a bird moved it, or maybe a squirrel. It's hard to say. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting. And another thing that I noticed, here, I'll show you if I can find it. Yesterday I found a green caterpillar that was on a branch. Oh, it's still here. Look at that. Here, I'll flip the camera so you can see it. And there it is. Yep, it's still, I think it's pretty much in the same spot that it was in yesterday. It's just kind of hanging out. Not really sure what it's going to do next. So I thought rather interesting. Yeah. So I wish you a thoughtful Thursday, and thanks for watching the birds with me. And may joy find you in the most unexpected places.